Hi, this is Kelly Fasterling again, talking to you about the financial services industry. This is my third YouTube. In the last one, we talked about the process of working together and what that would look like. We're going to drill down today on that getting to know each other step, that discovery step, and what that would look like. So that you know when we have that first meeting together, you know exactly how to prepare, what you need to have in front of you, what you need to gather to make the most of that meeting together. So, first, we're going to start with where you are now, and we're going to talk about where you want to be. If you're closing in on retirement, then that discussion is around when are you going to retire? When is your spouse going to retire? You're working now. What are you doing now? And then what will you need in retirement? What kind of cash flow will you need? And then we're going to spend a bit of time dreaming. We're going to be talking about what do you want to create? A lot of us think about retirement and we think we're going to have all this time freedom. So, what we really want is that ability to travel, to take maybe that European vacation, to maybe hop in the RV and travel around the States. Maybe we've got grandkids and we want to spend more time with the grandkids, maybe even something like a family vacation on the Outer Banks. So we're going to spend some time dreaming and defining what that retirement would look like for you and for your family, because that will help us set those goals for what kind of asset accumulation, what kind of cash flow management you want to have when you hit that retirement goal. So we'll look at that. Now, to set the stage for where you are now, there are some basics that you want to pull together. Number one is your most recent payroll statement. What's your gross income? How much are you contributing to your 401k, or if you're in federal service, to your TSP? What kind of life insurance options do you have through work? So on the federal side, it's your leave and earnings statement. We're looking for that gross salary, your FEHB, which is your federal health benefits and how those are going to carry into the future. Now, if you're not in federal service, what kind of health benefits might you bridge between now and Medicare? And then on the federal side, the life insurance, you have your FEGLI life insurance. Are you paying for it for you and your spouse? Are you adding something above the basic benefit and getting A, B, or C? And then maybe what type of long-term care options have you purchased? So we're looking at that big picture of where you are now and how you've kind of prepared for retirement. Now, when you move into retirement, you're going to have a set of things that pay you. Most of us will be getting Social Security. If we have 10 years of contribution to Social Security, we'll have Social Security. So you'll want to get that statement. You can now get them online. You go to www.ssa, that's Sam Apple, .gov, G-O-V. You'll want to grab that Social Security statement for both you and your spouse. Now that statement is going to show you, number one, how much you'll make between the ages of 62 and 70 with Social Security. You'll notice when you look at that statement that that amount goes up incrementally the longer you wait. But once you hit age 70, it doesn't go up anymore. Okay? The other thing you'll want to take a look at is the income side of that statement. You want to make sure that they've accurately recorded your income over all the years that you've worked, because on occasion there's a mistake, and you want to make sure those mistakes are found and corrected prior to getting into retirement. Okay? And then some folks are blessed to have a pension. If you're in federal service, that pension is going to look like your FERS benefit or your SERS benefit. Okay, so based on your federal years of service, they'll take your highest 3 consecutive years of salary, of income, times a factor, times your number of years times a factor. So you take that highest income, times the 10, 20, 30 years you've worked, times a factor of 1% if you're under 62 or under 20 years of service, or times 1.1% if you're over 62 with 20 years of service. You get a 10% bump. But some of the others of you have a pension that may come from military service, from disability, from a job that you've had, and you might have multiple pensions that gather up. So as we look at the pensions, we want to know what that pension benefit will be, but also if there's a survivor benefit on it for your spouse, and if you get a cost of living increase with it. In federal service, you have the choice on your survivor benefit. And so you can choose to either have the survivor get a 50% benefit when you pass or a 25% benefit when you pass. And that'll cost either 10% of your benefit or 5% of your benefit. Okay? Or you can give them zero. Okay, so you have different options in that. But you need to take the survivor benefits in federal service to carry the federal health benefits, the FEHB, for your spouse ongoing. So make sure you understand all of the cross considerations when you're looking at that. So we will be able to paint the picture for what your income will look like in retirement. Your income would be from Social Security, from pensions. Maybe you have some rental homes or some other passive income sources. Maybe you're working part-time. So all of those income sources will play into that income side of your retirement future. The rest of it is going to be made up from the assets. So let's say your income from all your pensions adds up to $4,000 a month. Your bills and kind of your lifestyle adds up to $6,000 a month. But what you really, really want to do is more like $8,000 a month to add in some of those European vacations and family get-togethers in the Outer Banks. So we'll know kind of what those values look like. And now we need to augment it with the assets, okay, with what you have, what you've accumulated. So those assets may be sitting in your checking or savings account, in CDs or money markets. So gather up what those numbers look like. They may be sitting in 401ks or old IRAs, and it might be traditional or Roth. So we'll need to know those balances because that's going to affect the income you take from them and whether you pay tax on it or not. So that Roth consideration is very important. If you're in federal service, it's going to be your TSP statement. You can go to www.tspthomassampaul.gov to pull your TSP statement. You'd want to set up an account. You'll need your TSP account number to set up that account. And if you don't have that, then just call the TSP service there at 877-968-3778. So the TSP number, 877-968-3778. So get your arms around all of your 401ks, IRAs, whether they're Roth, your TSP, all of those retirement assets you've been accumulating. Now, additionally, you may have other assets like brokerage accounts. You may have some gold and silver. You may have some annuities. You definitely have your home. With your home, what we'll want to run through is the value of your home, current value. You can go to Zillow.com and pull that. The mortgage balance that you have, what you're paying in a mortgage payment, and the interest rate on that mortgage payment. In addition to your home, you might also have some rentals. So we'd need that same information for your rental properties, in addition to the cash flow that it's putting off. So if you have rental properties, you may have a mortgage, and that mortgage may be covering your insurance and your taxes. You may also have an HOA on that in your house. You may also be paying for property management. And so all of those factor into what that cash flow is for those rentals. And then additionally, you may have some alternative investments. Maybe you have some cryptocurrency, or you've been collecting classic cars for years, things that are of value. Now, Sometimes those investments are not things that will be liquidated for retirement. They're things that you just love. But if they're things that might go into that retirement picture and funding those dreams for retirement, then let's talk about them. Additionally, what comes into play here are the debts. So some of us are carrying our mortgage into retirement, and there are solutions for that, which we can talk about. But some of us have some other debts. Maybe we just bought a car to have that car that we're going to carry into retirement, and we're paying on it. Maybe we have some credit card bills, and we're trying to kind of get our arms around getting those paid off. But we'd like to know your debt situation, what the balance is on the debt, what the payments are, what kind of interest rate is sitting on the debt, because we may want to look at how we tackle the debt as well. Okay, so now we've painted the picture for where you want to go, what kind of pensions are coming your way, what kind of assets will feed that cash flow that you want. But there are a few other considerations. One is on the healthcare side. So if you're 65 or older, then you can get into Medicare and you can handle some of your healthcare, and we can talk to a Medicare specialist about what those four parts look like. If you're not of age yet, then you're looking at other healthcare. Now, if you're in federal service, you can potentially bridge your FEHB all the way up until you get to Medicare, and you may even keep it after you start looking at Medicare. It may be advantageous. We can talk to you about that. But if you're not in federal service and you don't have TRICARE because you were military, then you're going to have consider what healthcare options you want for coverage until you hit that Medicare age. Additionally, you might have been carrying life insurance. A lot of folks have been carrying term insurance through the years. By the time they hit 60, 65, 70, that term insurance may expire. So the question is, what kind of life insurance carries you into the future? Do you have term, or do you have some permanent life insurance with whole life or indexed universal life? And are your life insurance needs being met, or do you need to change them? A lot of us carried life insurance in our earlier years because we have a family, we want to make sure the mortgage is paid off. There are people dependent on us. Sometimes when we get into those later years, that situation has changed. So we want to have a good feel for your life insurance requirements and what your coverage looks like to make sure you're well positioned into retirement for life insurance. And then another consideration is wills and trusts. We will do a segment on wills and trusts and talk more in depth about them. But you want to make sure that you're covered for various reasons, but so that your assets aren't public and aren't going into probate for everyone to see. Additionally, we want to cover your priorities in retirement. I'll ask you, what's more important? Is it income and what kind of income you can produce to live that dream in retirement? Is it safety? You know, we all had an opportunity to experience that 2001 dip, 2008 dip, 2022 dip. You know, we've been through a few of them. So is safety most important, or is it growth? Are you looking for growth on your assets because maybe you're in somewhat of a catch-up mode? So what is most important in terms of priority, especially as you're nearing retirement? And then what are your most important financial concerns? What keeps you up at night? So as we approach that discovery appointment, those are the kind of things that you want to gather up. The incomes that you're going to have in retirement, the assets that are going to help feed your retirement, and all those other considerations like healthcare, long-term care, life insurance, all of those extras, and then debts that you're trying to relieve before you get into retirement. The way I will work with you is as a fiduciary. Now, you've heard that term before. What does it really mean? It means I am legally obligated to put your interest ahead of mine. Now, frankly, in this business, I don't know why anyone wouldn't put their client's interest ahead of their own, but I'm legally bound to do that. You also get from me independent advice. I am not attached to any one company, and I have a full team behind me that researches the available products out there, whether you're looking for stock or bond options, whether you're looking for fixed or indexed annuity options, whether you're looking for CDs, whether you're looking for MIGAs. It depends what you're looking for and what's most appropriate for your plan. But I've got a team behind me in all of those areas that researches the best of the best that are out there. And then you also get from me somebody who's licensed in the full realm of financial ability. What do I mean by that? In our industry, we can be licensed in securities, meaning we can buy, sell, trade securities or advise on securities, stocks, bonds, things like that. That's just one segment of the business. The other side are some of the safer insured products that are in that life insurance world, the annuities, the life insurance products. And so that's a whole nother segment and a whole nother license. And then there's all of the real estate investing, the folks that really want to get heads down into accumulating and growing a real estate portfolio so that that becomes part of their income source in retirement. So I am licensed in securities, I'm licensed in life insurance, and I'm a licensed realtor, and I'm a very, very active real estate investor. So I span the wealth of investment options, investment vehicles for you, and I can help you understand each one of those and how they work. And then the other thing that I bring to the table is with my history, which you heard in the first segment, of losing half my assets both in 2001 and again in 2008, with going through a divorce in 2006 and sharing some of that 401k. I really have a lot of empathy for people that are either in catch-up mode like I was, or are positioning and getting close to retirement and are ready to create that dream. So again, it's Kelly Fasterling, and I look forward to the opportunity to work with you. Have an awesome day.